Welcome back to Spoiler-Free Wrestling, everyone. And the first big news story to break in 2019 is the members of the Elite have officially announced All Elite Wrestling, and what we're assuming at this point is going to be the promotion's first official event, Double or Nothing. But before we get to that, I just want to ask, if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any unique wrestling content from Spoiler-Free Wrestling. All right, so at 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Young Bucks released their latest episode of Being the Elite. It was a shorter episode than normal. It involved Hangman Page, Cody, and the Young Bucks in Tokyo. They were all in downtown Tokyo when they each received a message. Hangman Page received a message with the logo for All Elite Wrestling, which is up on your screen right now. The other three received the logos for Double or Nothing, which we are assuming at this point is going to be an event that they throw. Now, the All In Twitter account has released the following. It says, join us January 8th in Jacksonville for more information on Double or Nothing and All Elite Wrestling. Of course, Jacksonville, the Jacksonville Jaguars are owned by the Conn family. Tony Khan, is the man who is believed to be behind All Elite Wrestling. The Conn family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars and Fulham FC. And as we've mentioned in previous videos, they are now the richest people to ever get involved in the wrestling business. They are richer than Vince McMahon, richer than Ted Turner, and that's why we've been saying this story has the potential to be the biggest story or the most significant thing to happen in professional wrestling since WCW. So in terms of what contracts All Elite Wrestling is offering to talent, there's a little bit that we know that's out there. We don't know the actual financial figures. They are believed to be multi-year deals. Some have reported that they are for around 3 years. Now, while we don't know what kind of money is being thrown at these at talent by All Elite, we do know that their contract negotiations have caused a ripple in the industry. So we've seen WWE offering out entry-level contracts that are for higher than what they've normally done. We've also seen them going around and signing up as much indie talent as they can. We've also seen Ring of Honor lock up guys like PCO, Brody King, Jeff Cobb, Bandito, and Ring of Honor is said to be throwing around more money than they ever have previously as well. So this is a great time to be a professional wrestler, as with the Conn family's money coming in, that's going to increase the ability for all wrestlers to play different promotions against each other and try and get the best deal for them. Is probably the best time to be a professional wrestler since WCW tried to buy up all available talent to keep them from going to WWE. Also, as it concerns All Elite Wrestling talent contracts, it was announced on the Wrestling Observer Radio by Dave Meltzer, who we know has some type of personal relationship with the Young Bucks, or at least the information that Dave Meltzer is going to put out there about the Elite is normally one can assume coming from the Elite themselves. So according to Dave Meltzer, the Young Bucks haven't signed with All Elite Wrestling. They have not actually put ink to paper. What that means, nobody knows. Obviously, they're going to be involved. This is all playing out on their YouTube series. Dave Meltzer did say that they are expected to sign, however. But it's still a little strange that we're this late in the game and the Young Bucks aren't contractually committed. Also not believed to be contractually committed is Chris Jericho. Jericho attended a Jacksonville Jaguars versus Minnesota Vikings game this weekend and thanked Tony Khan on Instagram. Now, Chris Jericho, this is not his first rodeo. Chris Jericho knows that thanking Tony Khan on his Instagram is going to have an impact on WWE, who we know would like to continue working with Chris Jericho, New Japan Pro Wrestling, who we're sure would want to continue working with Chris Jericho, and of course, All Elite Wrestling. Now, in terms of will New Japan Pro Wrestling allow their top talent, like Kenny Omega, like Kota Ibushi, will they allow them to wrestle for All Elite Wrestling? Now, normally, New Japan Pro Wrestling will only allow their talent to work for Ring of Honor, CMLL, or there's a few European promotions as well as some promotions in Australia. But generally, in North America, you can wrestle for Ring of Honor, or you can wrestle for CMLL, and New Japan Pro Wrestling will still work with you. Now, CMLL and AAA have begun working together, which is mind-blowing for Lucha Libre fans. So now it's a little tricky about, like, New Japan Pro Wrestling still isn't using guys like Pentagon and Phoenix or AAA guys who are also wrestling for CMLL. So that's a little... Also, New Japan Pro Wrestling has blocked their talent from competing for Impact Wrestling. We've heard from Conan on his podcast talking about how difficult it's been for Impact Wrestling to get a talent sharing deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling, because New Japan Pro Wrestling's committed to their Ring of Honor partnership in the same way that New Japan was committed to their CMLL partnership. By the way, New Japan Pro Wrestling's first big trading partner was WWE. Was Vince McMahon Sr. They used to trade Hogan, Andre the Giant, Stan Hansen, Bob Backlund, and Vince McMahon Jr.'s first foray into promoting was he put the Muhammad Ali Antonio Inoki fight on what was it called? Like not closed captioning, closed circuit. So you would go to like an arena and they would show it on the big screen. So that was Vince McMahon's first foray into promoting, was actually for New Japan Pro Wrestling in the United States. I'm not sure how I got on that. But anyway, the biggest question as it concerns New Japan Pro Wrestling and All Elite Wrestling comes with Kenny Omega, and also a little bit with Kota Ibushi. Now, New Japan Pro Wrestling does not want to lose Kenny Omega, and they don't want to lose Kota Ibushi. I don't necessarily think they see Cody, Hangman Page, or the Young Bucks in the same light that they see those two. Obviously, you know, they're using them on big shows, but I don't think they see them as stars in the way that Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi are seen as stars in Japan. So I don't think New Japan Pro Wrestling wants to lose those two. But Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi will both want to work for All Elite Wrestling. And Kenny Omega might want to work for his friend Don Callis' Impact Wrestling as well. So while this is just speculation, I would imagine that going on behind the scenes between Omega, Ibushi, members of the Elite, and New Japan Pro Wrestling is this idea that if you're going to start your own promotion, you can't work here too. But if Kenny Omega is telling New Japan Pro Wrestling, all right, well then I'm going to leave and I'm just going to do these guys, that might force New Japan Pro Wrestling to say, all right, fine, you can work for All Elite Wrestling too. Or they might just stand their ground and say, okay, bye Kenny, bye Kota. And that might cause Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi to go, oh, okay, all right, we'll stay with New Japan Pro Wrestling because they won't let us work for All Elite Wrestling. We don't know. And New Japan Pro Wrestling is smart enough to not let any of that get out until after Wrestle Kingdom. And if you notice, Kenny Omega has done very little English language media. He's done Japanese language media while speaking English, but he hasn't done a lot of English language media. And he wasn't in the Being the Elite video released last night. So it's entirely possible that Kenny Omega is just trying to avoid these questions right now. And we're not going to find out where Kenny Omega is going to land until later in 2019. And we're not going to find out if other All Elite wrestlers are going to stay in New Japan Pro Wrestling until a little later in the year as well. One of the other big questions was Will All Elite Wrestling get a television deal? Initial reports about the promotion said that Access TV was very interested. Now the reports coming out again from the Wrestling Observer, so this is going to be coming from the Young Bucks. The reports are that they've received multiple offers for a TV deal. Now remember, this information is coming from the Observer, so it's something the Young Bucks have told Dave Meltzer. So they might be saying it to try and get a better offer from a particular station, or a better offer for multiple stations. We don't really know, but the sounds of it are that everybody involved feels confident that a TV deal is forthcoming. They have patented the term Tuesday Night Dynamite, which seems to imply a Tuesday night show could be in the works, but nothing has been official as of yet. That is information that we could get on January 8th as well. Now, also at SpoilerFreeWrestling.com, we've put up a speculated All Elite Wrestling roster, and all we've done here is taken the names that were at All In, and we've subtracted out those who have been signed by WWE recently, those who are contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling directly, so not through the Ring of Honor agreement, and that's it. So everybody else should be free to work for All Elite Wrestling, assuming All Elite Wrestling is not going to sign people to exclusive contracts. Oh yeah, and also we've taken out all the Ring of Honor wrestlers as well, as all signs are pointing to, well, Ring of Honor signing people to exclusive contracts. So they're not going to exchange talent with All Elite Wrestling. But All Elite can exchange talent with Impact, Major League Wrestling, and both AAA and CMLL. So what we're left with is a roster that looks kind of like this. We've got Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and of course Omega and Ibushi. They're big question marks there. Christopher Daniels and the members of SCU expected to go. Frankie Kazarian sent out the following. And Kazarian says, a big thank you to Ring of Honor for giving me the platform to do what I love this past year, and to the incredible roster of talent I was fortunate enough to work with. Eternal gratitude to you all. And so the members of SCU expected to be a part of All Elite Wrestling. Also, you've got the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. Of course, compete both for MLW and Impact Wrestling as well. Brian Cage, Joey Ryan, who was a big part of All In with his multiple inflatable penises. Matt Cross was also on All In. He wrestled Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Joey Janela and Marco Stunt from Game Changer Wrestling are both on the shelf, but should be back later in 2019. Tommy Dreamer wrestles for everyone, so I don't see why he wouldn't be with All Elite Wrestling either. Then in the all-in, over-the-budget Battle Royal, Billy Gunn and his son Austin Gunn, who could come off as his twin, were both involved. So both could be involved with All Elite Wrestling as the promotion moves forward into 2019 as well. In terms of a women's division, we got names like Brandy Rhodes will be in there. Tessa Blanchard's deal with Impact Wrestling just requires that she prioritize the Impact Wrestling tapings over other tapings, so she should be free to work for All Elite Wrestling as well. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, I'm not sure if she's fully signed with Women of Honor for ROH or if she just competes with them a lot, but I put her up there as a possible name as well. And Jordine Grace, who's made a name for herself in the all-in over-the-budget Battle Royal and more recently with Impact Wrestling as well. I would expect that she's probably going to be involved in All Elite Wrestling. Billy Corgan's National Wrestling Alliance could be involved as well. Many unanswered questions, but at least we've got a few more answers this morning. We'll have a few more on January 8th. Make sure you're subscribed to Spoiler Free Wrestling, so we'll keep you up to date on all things going on with All Elite Wrestling, and as well as providing you with unique wrestling content as well. Thanks again, everyone. I'm the Guy from Spoiler Free Wrestling.